Summer, and those temperatures are looking hot. We're on your side with your weekend forecast and an update on the tropics.
WPRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
And thanks for staying with us for First Alert Weather Extra. Tania and Lauren joining us now. And I mentioned on my Facebook page a few moments ago, it just hit me that July 4th is only 15 days away.
Oh, wow.
You know, there will be candy corn all over the shelves before you know it, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, this year's been flying. Can't believe
really
summer's already
has.
here. And
We're literally almost halfway through the year.
yeah.
Looking at our area, a lot of clouds, but no rain showing up. And the clouds have actually clouds out there. So at times providing some much needed shade as those temperatures rise during the afternoon. As we go to the big picture, though, and show you the Gulf, the tropics, what's happening here, you can clearly tell we now have a well-defined tropical storm that has materialized over the southwest Gulf of Mexico. Alberto, it's over hundreds of miles to the southwest of us, and it's still expected to move to the west, so no surprises on the track. The latest advisory takes this back in northern Mexico, and we're right there on the far north end of this. A few scattered showers showing up, but we're wedged in between a ridge north of us. We have the tropical system to the south, and that's why we're dealing with that easterly wind that's been off and on throughout the entire week, and it actually will be back tomorrow, so another breezy day. But if we go in closer to the coast, there are rip current advisories that are in place, and you can see Pensacola and areas there all the way back in towards Santa Rosa Beach impacted. But this is one system that we're going to be talking about. There's a chance we could see another system. Alberto's expected to make landfall late tonight, early tomorrow morning, but a lot of the rain that we've seen with this extending well north into Texas. This is a large tropical storm. The tropical storm force winds, I mean, we're even feeling breezy conditions in Alabama. So, I mean, this is a large system, broad area of low pressure. That's going to be moving back onto the west direction, and then we might see another system take shape. There's some energy over the Caribbean, another tropical wave that's going to move in this vicinity. And actually, Lauren, looks like that just updated. We'll probably have to update the percentage. An even greater chance over the next 7 days that we could see some development here. So giving you now 40%. So yeah, that just updated. So giving you that first alert there, Southwest Gulf. We'll probably be talking about another system later this week. But reason I mention that is if you, again, have plans to travel, that's probably going to keep the Gulf waters churned up here over the next 6 to 7 days. But there is a wave out in the Atlantic, low chance for development as that moves to the west. So what does this mean for us? Are we going to see any rainfall? Well, at this point, it looks like we are going to need to water over the next several days. We're still dry, not seeing much rain, as you can see Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yes, water. It's a maybe on Monday because it looks like our next best chance for scattered storms comes back into the start of next week. Notice we go from 30 to 40% chance of rain Sunday into Monday. So watch out for those afternoon storms. Even Saturday might be an isolated afternoon pop-up shower. But hot weather for the weekend. We'll update you on those temperatures coming up in the 7-day forecast.
Well, as Wes was saying, Tropical Storm Alberto has been bringing heavy rain and coastal flooding to much of the Texas Gulf Coast today, even though the center of circulation of the storm will likely not make landfall technically in the U.S. Check out the footage of the storm moving through. A tropical storm warning is in place for the Texas coast from Port O'Connor to Rio Grande. And due to the steep pressure gradient, coastal flooding was more significant than what's normally expected during a typically smaller storm. Seas were as high as 16 feet across the Gulf of Mexico this afternoon. One resident saying the rain actually caught him by surprise.
It's definitely worse than I expected, or I'd have been gone, you know. So I should have been more prepared. And, you know, it's not even a hurricane.
And that's just a testament to these systems can have impacts, even regardless of their category. In addition to flooding, some communities were under tornado warnings, but thankfully there have been no reports of damage. But in 30 seconds, we take a quick check on our forecast here at home and talk about that much anticipated first day of summer. We'll be right back.
Well, we've been talking about it. The first day of summer kicks off tomorrow, where the Earth is tilted closest to the sun, officially at 3:50 p.m. Matt Daniel will talk more about that. But here's that forecast for your Thursdays. Looking good. A great pool day. Early tomorrow morning, lots of sunshine. Temperatures 7 a.m. starting off in the lower 70s. Just around 11 o'clock, mid 80s, reaching highs for your daytime, or really your afternoon hours for your Thursday. Low 90s, so a very warm day. We'll see that easterly wind continuing as we bring in the first day of summer. By 5 o'clock, those temperatures still hanging on in the low 90s. It's going to be a warm day, great day to get outdoors. Just make sure you're practicing heat safety, wearing that sunscreen, not just for the first day of summer, but the rest of those hot months ahead of us. Plus, making sure you're staying hydrated as much as possible. But the first day of summer, as we've been talking about, is upon us. And Matt Daniel joins us now with an in-depth explanation on why we have seasons.
So, in case you didn't know, tomorrow, not today, tomorrow will be the first day of summer, but we're already here celebrating early on this Wednesday evening. And let's talk about the seasons. Why do we have the seasons? Well, it's very simple. The Earth is tilted, and that's why we have it. So the Earth is tilted at 23.5 degrees, and that tilt is what gives us those seasons, because we get different amounts of sunshine and direct sunlight from the sun, and that will heat some parts of the Earth up faster than others, and that's why we have different seasons and different hemispheres. So just to give you a perspective of that, the summer solstice, of course, is tomorrow at 3:50, and so we get the longest amount of daylight here in the northern hemisphere. But in the southern hemisphere, notice they are tilted a little bit farther away. They get less of that sunlight from the sun. They are actually entering winter, and so that means they have their shortest day and their longest night in the southern hemisphere. So sort of a little bit of an opposite reaction. So let's talk about it. So we have the most amount of daylight for tomorrow. Tomorrow our sunrise is at 5:37. Notice our mornings will start to end up, the sunrise is a little bit later by July 1st at 5:41, and then by August 1st our sunrise will occur at 6 a.m. What about those sunset times? They're not going to move too much between now and July 1st. So tomorrow looks like our sunset's at 8 o'clock, 8:01 by July 1st, but notice by August 1st, definitely a little bit noticeable at 7:46. So we're going to lose about a minute of daylight once summer occurs tomorrow between now and going into the beginning of August. So just to give you a perspective of summer solstice, we've got 14 hours and 22 minutes of daylight. But then as we go towards winter, that's when we see the least amount of daylight. And notice the sunrise will occur in December at 6:47, sunset at 4:43, and we only get 9 hours and 55 minutes. So after tomorrow, daylight starts to shrink just a little bit. So we're going ahead and look at our holiday countdown, shall we? Independence Day, of course, 15 days away. Labor Day, 75 days away. And the first day of fall, officially, September 22nd, that is 95 days away. So I know a lot of you are already probably tired of the heat and ready for some cooler temperatures and some football. Got to wait a while. So happy first day of summer starting tomorrow.
Yay! Happy first day of summer. Fireworks, fireworks, woo! Thanks, Matt. But still ahead on First Alert Weather Extra, we continue to bring you updates on your first weekend of the summer. And we'll have more for you right here as we take a look at that full 7-day forecast right after the break.
Okay, yeah. You want to move it down? And if he doesn't come, then just use that extra package you had after Tania does Beyond the 7-Day or something?
Welcome back into Weather Extra as we check out the satellite and radar across our area. Just clouds out there, but no rain showing up. If you have plans for this evening, temperatures, it's been hot, but not as bad as it certainly can be, as we know all too well. The temperatures by 9 o'clock, you can see we'll start to see 70s back on the map, but a nice little easterly breeze again coming in for tonight. And looking ahead to the 6 a.m. temperatures just out the door tomorrow morning, another start with some of those low clouds around. We'll have 70s in a lot of locations to the west. Coleman down to Clanton, notice there showing temperatures at 70 at Clanton. Actually, Coleman updated showing 67. I still think there will be some 60s because of that drier air that's been in place, and that's going to keep us dry for tomorrow, which also means we'll have a big warm up during the afternoon. We'll probably notice some of the data here showing 94 degrees in Birmingham tomorrow, even hotter than some of the forecast data. But Friday morning, just going beyond the next 24 hours, you can see 70s, and there will be some 60s around. We're going to see another hot weekend here coming up. That heat is going to continue to build. There's nothing to slow it down. So we're going to be talking about upper 90s coming back and possibly nearing 100 across parts of West Alabama for Saturday and into Sunday, but also a chance that we could see a few scattered afternoon thunderstorms. Notice an isolated afternoon shower or storm Saturday, and then for Sunday a 30% chance of rain. But that long range data, just looking ahead into next week, you can see this is from the European model, some of the global data, and it's showing Sunday that chance that we could see a few scattered storms. Certainly not a washout this weekend, and you will want to water Saturday and Sunday. It's a maybe there in the early next week because we'll see this coverage increase. Notice as we go into Monday, this one model in particular shows another decent coverage there later in the day. It's just nice to at least see some rain back in the forecast. I can't promise everybody's going to see rain by Monday, but there will be some scattered areas of storms developing, and some of those could be intense. We'll have to watch out for that next week. A few of those afternoon storms growing quite strong across the area. But we do have the Major League Baseball happening at Rickwood Field tomorrow around first pitch time, 90 degrees, and it is certainly going to feel like summertime out there, but it looks like dry weather, and by the evening, perfect weather for that Major League game happening out at Rickwood Field for tomorrow. So if you are heading out, just plan on the hot weather, and nothing like this weekend. Look at Saturday and Sunday. This is the heat index, and notice by Monday we're getting in the heat advisory range there by Monday, Tuesday, and next week, 105 to 106 in parts of the area. So certainly some hot weather to talk about as we move ahead. So that's another thing we're going to be discussing as we go beyond the 7-day forecast, the hot conditions, and that chance for what's that? Oh, okay. So right now what we want to do is we want to check in with Mickey Ferguson, and then we'll come back to Tania to talk about what's happening beyond the 7-day forecast.
Hey, we're checking out the Gulf of Mexico, that tropical system our weather team's been talking about. This was earlier this morning. Look at the surf there, 25-mile-per-hour winds. I don't know if you can see in the upper, on the right side, that's double red flags that are flying. And look at that surf that was going on this morning, and that's continuing as we head into this evening. So they're just discouraging anybody from getting in the Gulf of Mexico. Here's a look at the flags, double red flags for tomorrow going into Friday. It starts to taper off a little bit on Saturday where they could get yellow flags. So if you are headed down to the Gulf of Mexico, you might have to wait until this weekend before you can get in the water. The winds die down a little bit. But look at that Gulf water temperature, 84 degrees. I just got back from the Gulf a couple of weeks ago, and the water was pretty warm, but man, mid-80s, that's pretty toasty for this time of the year. Let's check out your beach forecast. And as we get into Friday, going into the weekend, first of all, Friday, getting up into the low 90s there. And looks like we'll see some sunshine breaking on in there, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Slight chance of showers there on Saturday, going into Saturday afternoon with temperatures off into the 80s there. Let's go ahead and check out your 7-day beach forecast. And we have that chance of rain tomorrow, and then it tapers off a little bit going into the weekend. But our temperature readings at the beaches are actually cooler, or projected to be cooler than it is here at home. Going into next week, about a 40 to 60% chance of rain going into Monday and Tuesday of next week. If the beach is not your thing and you'd rather go to the mountains, well, let's check that out. Here's your mountain forecast, and you can see going into Friday, We have partly cloudy skies there and relatively dry going into Saturday. Let's check your 7-day mountain forecast, and it's looking like this for the Smoky Mountains. Just a slight chance of rain through Saturday, but much like here at home, we see a chance of rain developing Sunday into Monday, Tuesday of next week. By the way, when you're at the beach or the mountains, if you want to take a picture of the weather there or just want to share a picture with us, just first of all, you can check out the latest radars. You can check out the latest forecasts there on the mountains or the beaches. But take some pictures too, submit them to us, and we might can share some of those pictures right here on Weather Extra.
All right, Mickey looked like he got a suntan there. He's talking about being at the coast. Hey, as we look ahead here, Tania, one thing I mentioned a few moments ago is that the hot weather certainly builds in here this weekend and early next week, but we do have rain chances in that forecast.
Yes, and I know many people who are out in the garden like you, Wes, are like, my plants need the rain. Maybe you're tired of watering your plants. Well, hopefully this will ease some of the tension that might be out there 6 to 10 days out from now as we look towards the end of June, or at least closer to the end, June 25th through June 29th. Most of the U.S. could be seeing above average rainfall. I mean, maybe areas to the west coast might see near average, if not below average. The Pacific Northwest seeing above average, though. And above average rainfall includes us here at home. So giving you that first alert for more rain and possible storm chances in our forecast, which is good because we've been so dry lately. It wouldn't hurt to have a little sprinkle here and there, right? Now, here's a look at those rain chances as we look at the 25th through the 29th. We could see some showers on the 25th. This is next Tuesday, 11 a.m. We're also seeing the possibility for some rain chances later Tuesday night and maybe a storm chance as well. Wednesday, we're looking at a few showers, at least moisture around central Alabama. So still a possible rain chance then. Thursday, the 27th, doesn't look too bad, but still could see a light shower. An isolated shower can't be ruled out. Again, the 28th. But the 29th looks fairly dry, maybe a lingering shower or two, but that rain chance still in the forecast through the 25th through the 29th. And that's why we said above average rainfall. As we look at our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, the 25th through the 29th, most of the U.S. guys, not just us, going to be dealing with the heat. And as we look at it, central Alabama, we're included in those above average temperatures. So the heat is on the way. But Lauren has someone she'd like to talk to and share with us right here on Weather Extra because hurricane season is upon us. Lauren, who's our special guest today?
Hey, Tania. Yeah, well, we are just a couple of weeks into hurricane season and the Gulf is already lighting up. It's always a good time to talk about disaster preparedness, though, and what to do in the case you or a loved one is impacted. Today, we're joined by Luke Powers with Smile Hub, who does research on how states rank with disaster preparedness. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Luke.
Thanks so much for having me.
So just to get started, what are the qualifications a state must reach in order to be disaster ready?
Well, when we looked at this topic, to be disaster ready, we see states needing to excel in 3 key areas. So resilience infrastructure and support capacity, disaster prevention planning and funding, and disaster risk and lasting damage. So what this involves is having sufficient fire and police stations, a robust emergency management budget, a comprehensive disaster mitigation plan, and a strong community resilience score, among other factors.
So where does Alabama fall within that?
Well, this was somewhat surprising for me since I have a lot of family in Alabama and I've seen firsthand the damage that disasters can cause, but Alabama ranks 41st in overall disaster readiness.
Oh, wow. So if you are at the top of the list, you are better at disaster readiness versus lower on the list, correct?
Correct. And this isn't to say that Alabama performs poorly across the board. They're actually performing well in areas like disaster relief charities per capita, medical reserve corps members per capita. It's just other things that struggle, like low rankings in mental health counselors per capita and physicians per capita.
So we know the Gulf Coast is so vulnerable to tropical activity. How can families best prepare themselves for disaster with this active hurricane season in the forecast, and now knowing that maybe Alabama isn't as prepared as other areas?
So For families to best prepare for this hurricane season, they should really focus on creating a comprehensive emergency. I'm so sorry if you hear an alarm in the background.
Oh, no, you're good.
So this plan would include assembling an emergency kit with essentials like water, non-perishable food, medication, important documents, and then families staying informed about weather updates through reliable sources. Watching the news or keeping an eye on your phone for different alerts, and identifying local shelters, understanding evacuation routes, and
Well,
if they
Luke,
want to
that
take
is-
it a step farther.
Yeah, that's very valuable information, especially now what we've learned about Alabama. So we definitely want to take matters into our own hands now moving forward. But thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. It's certainly something to think about as we go into hurricane season.
Absolutely.
Take
I'm very
care.
glad that you had me on here.
Absolutely.
Have a good
We'll be
one.
right back. Well, before we let you head out into your evening, let's look at some of these beautiful weather photos coming in on the weather app. That is a shot of Wind Creek State Park, thanks to Teresa Meyer for, ooh, that was gorgeous. Ooh.
I know.
That is so beautiful.
It's amazing
Sunset.
how those clouds just set those colors off.
Oh
in the
my
evening.
gosh.
Beautiful.
And thanks
Logan
to Dennis
Martin Lake.
Jenkins for sending that one in.
And another one from Polly Goodwin, Panola.
Panola, that's in
Alabama.
Sumter County,
Oh,
northern
wow.
Sumter County, Alabama.
Need to head
How
up
about
there.
Right, that's beautiful. And this one too, so peaceful. Sandra Martin, another sunset. We love to see it.
Yeah, we've had some gorgeous sunset photos.
We certainly had a viewer sent me a picture from Juneau yesterday at sunset. It was 59 degrees. Just saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Must be
Juneau.
nice.
I'm like, oh, there's a Juneau in our view in here? No.
No, Alaska.
Must be nice.
All right, we'll see you tonight at 9.
All right. Hey, yes, I can.
For a minute there, I thought it was going
All right, let's do it.
Drop what?
Oh, you were, yeah. I'm ready in 3, 2. Oh, take your time, take your time. In 3, 2. Hey there, everyone. First Alert meteorologist Tania Michelle here with that 7-day forecast. We are watching some hot conditions as we head into your weekend, but mainly in the 90s on our entire 7-day. So summer is kicking off with a bang. Here we are bringing in the first day of summer for your Thursday. Official time of summer begins at 3:50 p.m. your Thursday afternoon. We'll see afternoon highs Thursday reaching low 90s, staying in the low 90s by Friday, mid to upper 90s by the weekend though, both Saturday and Sunday. And also introducing some rain chances in the forecast. It's going to be hot, but we could